Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. What sort of things did they need from our OP store that they could not get from another store that may still have been open? And if not, what could possibly have been so damn important that they had to drive their car through the storefront? No, sir. Driving your car through our storefront will not make me want to serve you. Some background. While I was at school, I worked as a casual at an Australian supermarket that prides themselves on being fresh. After 6 months as a cashier, I was promoted to the majestical role self-serve attendant. Our store had only recently gotten these magical self-serve machines, and only a small number of cashiers had initially been trained on them, which led to scheduling issues when none of them were available to work. A few of us cashiers had been trusted to give the attendants breaks from their shifts, so it was us that got trained to run them as well. This incident happened on a weekend, where I was scheduled to start at 7:45 and finish at 6:45, purely working self-serve. It was a long day. The afternoon rush had ended, and only 2 registers and self-serve were open. It was 10 minutes to close, and the cashiers were anxious to go home. As self-serve attendant, I had a lot of closing duties to get done, which generally takes longer than the time you're given. So I'd usually shut down and clean all but one machine so I wasn't making everyone else wait for me. As it was late afternoon and the supervisor was off getting ready to close, I was answering the phones while I was waiting to shut down my last machine. 6:20 p.m., the phone rings. Me. Thank you for calling supermarket. This is OP. How may I help you? Customer. What time do you close? Me. Sighing internally. Not this again. Me. Supermarket closes at 6:30 p.m. on Saturday night. Customer, speaking to another person. Yeah, we still got time. Me, I'd just like to remind you that the time is now 6:20 p.m. and the store will be closed in 10 minutes. Customer, yeah, I heard you. We're coming. Don't close. We got to grab some stuff. Click. Me, screaming internally. The cashiers hanging around out front, anxious to go home, aren't going to wait for you to get here and grab some stuff when you had all day to do it. So 6:30 p.m. rolls around and there's no sign of them. We close and lock the front doors, and I frantically begin pulling out cash from the machines and closing them off. 6:40 p.m., I'm sitting on the ground surrounded by bags of cash to be sorted. A car rolls into the parking lot. Great. Out walks a young couple, obviously the ones I spoke to. They walk up to the automatic doors and they won't open. They do the double take and try again, figuring the sensor might not have seen them. Nope, we're closed. Then comes my favorite part, when they look through the glass window, like everyone who arrives late does, which is directly in front of me, with my piles of cash. Clearly, we're closed. But nope, they begin banging to get my attention. By now, I'm getting further behind my duties because I'm laughing at their ignorance. They continue to bang, I continue to bag cash. Eventually, they walk back to the car, defeated. Or so I think. Ring, ring. Oh, damn, the phone. One of them had the brains to think to call the store. Me, thank you for calling supermarket. This is OP. How may I help you? Angry customers. Oh, yeah, we're outside the store. Let us in. We got to grab some stuff. Me, sorry, sir. We closed at 6:30 p.m. The time is now 6:50 p.m. We've been shut for 20 minutes and no longer have any registers open to process your sale. We'll reopen at 9 a.m. tomorrow for your convenience. AC, that's bullcrap. I spoke to a chick on the phone. She said you'd stay open for us. She promised. Ask her. Me. Sir, you spoke to me on the phone and I informed you that we'd be shut in 10 minutes. It's been half an hour since that phone call. I apologize, but we cannot let you in for security reasons. AC. That's effing bullcrap. I called. Now, where are we going to get our stuff? You should be open for longer. F this. Let us in, damn it. Me. Sir, I do not appreciate your tone. We've been open since 8 a.m. You have been able to get your things for the past 10 hours. I apologize, but there's nothing we can do for you. AC, effing BS, F you. I'll let myself in. Make my own door. See how you like that, B? Click. Me. All of my what? So I call over my supervisor to fill her in on the call. She laughs and says, it's fine, I did everything I could. We look into the car park to see them getting into their cars. Victory. Or so I think. Again. They begin to drive out the driveway, but stop just in front of the window they were earlier banging on. Then begin to reverse at me. I jump up and scream, "Effing what?" Their car comes up the curb and over the sidewalk, still reversing fast. Everyone is screaming. Who drives into a supermarket because we wouldn't let them in when we were closed? They slam on the brakes less than a meter from the window. My piles of cash is gone everywhere from me scrambling to get up in time. The back of their car hits a bollard and dents their car. They screech out the car park with a dented car and a bruised ego. The supervisor comes up to me, tells me to forget the cash and just put it all into one bag. The office girls can deal with it tomorrow. It's now nearly 7 p.m. and the whole front end is just flabbergasted. And our second story. Where's my effing cake? I work in the bakery department of the flagship store of my company. A few days ago, I started my shift around 2:30 p.m. As I got there, my coworker says, "Since you're here, I'm going to head to lunch." Okay, no worries. I get started on a few things that need to be done while she's gone. So in the department, it's just me and our cake decorator. We'll call her Mary. A man walks up, looking around our case, kinda huffy and puffy. We'll call him PM for Pissy Man. Me. Is there anything I can help you find, or are you just browsing? PM. I'm looking for a cake my wife ordered. I don't see it out here. Me. Well, if it was special ordered, it wouldn't be left out in the case. We'll hold on to it in the back. What's the name on the order? I can go back and check. PM. I don't know. My wife ordered it earlier today. Me. What's your wife's first name? PM. Why do you want to know? Me. If she ordered it, the cake is most likely under her name. PM. It should say, "Happy Birthday, Janet" on it. Me. Okay, give me 1 second to go check. I head into the back and ask Mary if there's a cake being held that has that text on it. She shakes her head. I haven't written that on any cakes today, but check the cooler in back. Maybe Sally, cake decorator with an earlier shift, made it and put it in the fridge. So I go check. The cooler is super full of supplies that needed to be refrigerated because we got our freight in that day. No cake with that text on it. So I head back out there to regretfully tell this man I didn't see any cake back there. Me. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not seeing anything with that text on it. Are you sure your wife ordered it at this store? There's another company name on this road, but a few miles down. Perhaps your wife mistakenly sent you to the wrong store. PM. Did you just call my wife a liar? Me. No, sir, I did not, but that happens quite often. I just want to make sure you're at the right place. I'd hate to have you drive in circles looking for an order if you're not at the right location. He grumbled something and walked out the door. I assumed he got fed up and headed for the other location, even though I was going to offer to call the other location to see if they had his cake order. So Mary sticks her head out of the back room and asks what happened. I told her. We both roll our eyes and joke about how frustrating customers can be and head back to what we were doing. 3 minutes later, I'm grabbing some stuff off the floor when I hear, "Sir, you can't be back here." So I rush to the back. PM. Where's my effing cake? I called my wife and she said she ordered it from this store. I know you have it here somewhere. He heads towards the cooler where our supplies and orders are kept. Me. Sir, I need you to step out of the back and stay in the front of the bakery. Your order is not in there and you're not allowed back here. PM. Why won't you just give me my order? Me. Because I'm not seeing it back here. You need to leave this room now. I'd had enough of this guy. He whipped his head around and stared at me and reluctantly headed back out to the sales floor in the front of the bakery. PM. My wife said that the text on that cake was "Happy Birthday, Mom." Me. Before you said it was something else, which might be why we couldn't find it. Let me double check with my coworker to see if she knows where it is. I head into the back where poor Mary's surprisingly shaken up from all the yelling. I tell her what the cake has on it and she goes, "Oh, that cake we had to put in the deli cooler because ours had no room." If he just told us that from the beginning. So I get him his cake. He calls us lying bees for not selling him the cake his wife ordered. Tells us he knew we were lying to him. He doesn't know why he gives us his money. Threatens to go to corporate for horrible customer service, etc., etc. Perhaps if the guy had acted like a human and just given you his name when you first asked, this could have been avoided. But no, entitled a-hole mode engaged. And our next story. Lazy coworker was making other employees miserable. My mother told me this long ago. about 20 years ago, when background checks weren't done often at many places, including her place that she managed, a person, I'll call her Miss B-Word Snowflake, who recently moved from out of state, had applied at a few places with glowing resume and was accepted at my mother's place. But it soon proved to be a big headache. She was often late or missing work and always had a doctor's note confirming issues, so per the old policy, she couldn't be fired. But when she actually did come to work, she'd make the Jerry Springer show look like a kiddie show. However, she never broke any rules, so she could be fired either. Just had to put up with Miss B-Word Snowflake. Then something very nice showed up in her office's fax machine. The corporate office found she had multiple arrests and convictions for retail fraud, shoplifting, which meant she lied on the job application by claiming no criminal history. Plus, the policy of this store is not to hire any convicted shoplifters because they often handled high-value goods. She was fired on the spot and told not to come in at all. Her last paycheck will be mailed. The best part, she wouldn't be able to get a decent job locally that paid better than minimum wage, about $4.25 an hour back then, because when she applied at other places, she used my mother's place as previous employment. Miss B-Word Snowflake hadn't realized employers often call other employers to verify job history, and she always lied that she quit for personal reasons and not fired, plus she always failed to mention criminal history. My mother got something like 20 calls on this person, and she didn't know how many calls other managers got. And our last story. Harry, there's some a-hole here who says that he's my brother. It was the 1990s, and I was working for my father's electrical engineering firm while I was in architectural design school. I was basically the assistant office manager, doing document control and jumping on the phones when necessary. My desk was in the lobby right next to the office manager, who was out that day, so I was doing double duty. Now, as this was the 90s, there was a butt-ton of sketchy toner salesmen going door-to-door in the office park trying to sell their wares and or hook up clients for their sketchy companies, who often disappeared after setting up a contract, and then disappeared after they took payment. We had a large no solicitor sign at eye level next to the door, which most of these goons completely ignored. So I'm at my desk, working my way through a huge pile of documents that needed to be filed, and my father was in his office adjacent to the lobby with his door open. One of the toner goons came trundling in with a self-important air and said, "I'm here to see Harry." I responded with a polite, "May I ask who's calling?" And he snapped back, "I'm his son," in a tone implying that I was about to get my butt chewed for daring to ask who he was. Right. Game on, mother effer. I got up from my desk, walked over to the old man's office, and knocked on the door and said, "Harry, there's some a-hole here who says he's my brother. Do you have something to tell me, or should I just toss him out the door?" I looked over at the sales guy, and he had a horrified look on his face, which could have been partially explained by my having at least a foot and 75 pounds on him, as well as having a terminal case of RPF, resting psychopath face, at the best of times. Dude left the office so fast, I swear he had a contrail. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.